Entertainment Banter is a podcast that may use inappropriate language for some viewers, and as always, please wear your face mask while listening to the podcast. Thank you.
Welcome back to Entertainment Banter. Matthew Curtis is next to me.
Yeah, Joel is next to me.
You can't even say my last name.
Kopczynski!
Whatever. So, today we want to start talking about that new TV show that came out. I'm sure this is going to be dated when you hear it, but Orville. Seth McFarlens. Actually, let's just talk about Seth McFarlens, not just Orville, but Seth McFarlens as a whole. How he's an entertainer, he's a writer, he's a director, he's a producer, he's a
Renaissance man.
He's all around well-rounded. But when he did A Million Ways to Die in the West, he did prove he's not an actor. So, with Orville out, it is a parody of Star Trek. I watched it. Matt has not, so we're not going to ruin any spoilers. What can you spoil? It's just Star Trek with comedy now, but
right, it's Galaxy Quest TV style.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, you haven't seen Galaxy Quest?
Probably no. I'm not a huge Maybe, I don't know.
Well, Galaxy Quest is the same thing. It starred Tim Allen. It was basically making fun of Star Trek. They were like a Star Trek TV show.
Really?
The difference was and then what happened was they really went out into space thinking that it was all made up. And so they were acting like they were still doing a TV episode, and then halfway through it they realized, no, they're really out in space, and this is real aliens and shit.
No, see, that's not Star Trek. This is legitly he gets a ship, he gets to go out on exploratory missions. This is the year 2450 something. His ex-wife is on the ship with him, and shenanigans ensue.
Okay, yeah, but regardless, it's a comedy based off of Star Trek type.
Yes. So before we actually hit record on tonight's episode, Matt was asking me, do you think Orville will be successful? And I said it's pretty much American Dad, Family Guy, comedy, and a Star Trek element. But essentially, that's what it was for A Million Ways to Die in the West, and that movie bombed to shit. And I was saying because Westerns are more dead these days.
Which I would disagree with, but go ahead.
Really?
Yeah. If it's done right, I think.
Name a Western.
There's always room for a good Western.
Name a Western that's done well in the last 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, I gave you 10 years. That's a big number.
No, because you gotta understand something, first of all. You have to understand the decade you live in first, so it's kind of unfair.
That's why it failed.
Well, it totally could. Right now, we're living in the era of superheroes. Everything's superhero, and if it's not superhero, it's the woman heroine is the lead, But that's just the decade we're living in. But right before that, there'd be a random, Western that would pop up every once in a while that was pretty good.
Cowboys and Aliens?
For example, oh, how dare you. I try not to think about that because it's unfortunate. No, Tombstone. That came out.
Tombstone, is that the one with Jeff Bridges?
What? Jeff Bridges? No. Is it? No.
Jeff Bridges is in a Western.
Kurt Russell. And then you had Val Kilmer. And then what about... Alright, what about the Django or whatever it was?
Oh!
That one?
That wasn't Western. Was it Western? That was more about slavery.
Well, Quentin Tarantino, it was his thing, but it's technically a Western.
Was it?
And then what about 310 to Yuma? Have you seen that one with Christian Bale?
That was a good one.
Yeah, see? Bam!
But those were done all in the same period. If A Million Ways Died in the West, and then you got to remember what was it? We just had it. Seven.
Wait,
Magnificent Seven? Wasn't that one of them?
Oh, Magnificent Seven. Yeah, that was a good one.
Anyways,
that was a good one.
Okay, then why did A Million Ways Die in the West fail?
Well, because I think it goes back to what we were talking about, which is strictly with Seth McFarlens, and that is his comedy works in the animated platform, but when it's translated into features or live television, it doesn't translate as well for some reason.
Then explain
And
Ted.
You can blame him for that because he starred in both.
Explain Ted.
Did he write Ted? I was just gonna say,
Yes.
Did he help write Ted? Yeah.
He's
well,
Ted.
It's just him then, because everyone loves Mark Wahlberg. So maybe he's a good writer, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's him as a performer. Like, people are hating on him for no apparent reason. Does that make any sense? Like,
Well,
you can't have it all, but you can't be a producer, director, writer, great voice actor, and be a star on the silver screen.
And a singer.
You can't allow all of it.
Great Broadway
He's a
singer.
singer. Hey, and he loves musicals, which I greatly appreciate. But
He's not gay.
I don't know. Maybe his humor, the way he delivers his lines are too dry.
Well, he's a voice actor. He should know when to deliver his lines.
Right, but name a time in A Million Ways to Die in the West that he actually get crazy. You know what I mean? Like, deliver a line that was not monotone or sarcastic.
I don't think so.
I don't think there was ever a time, right? It's always like, hey, I'm just going to tell you this fact because, it's a funny fact, and I tell facts all the time. And see, I point out stuff that's pretty obvious, and that's how it is. Oh man.
My God, you sounded like him for a second.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
He's not, like, actually acting. He's just rambling. He's bantering, Joel. He banters on screen.
He'd be a great person to get on the show.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he'd banter the hell out of us.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Seth MacFarlane. Family Guy went downhill as soon as he left as a writer. And American Dad, I watch American Dad because it's very clever. He doesn't write that anymore either. He actually doesn't write anymore for Family Guy, American Dad. He just does voices for it now, and he wants to get more into television. That's why he's doing, or he wants to get more live acting, and that's why he did.
And he should have every right to. He should have every right to, because you work that hard to make a name for yourself. You should finally be able to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? That's why I thought it was great. That's why I thought it was great he did Ted, and even A Million Ways to Die in the Old West, or in the West, or whatever. So, more power to him. I hope he's able to do other things he wants to do. The only thing I would say to him, if I was talking to him personally, is just be like, try to have a little variety in your comedy, because if you keep trying to translate American Dad into an hour-long Western, or
it's just his comedy.
Yeah, he needs a platform to base the same shtick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be cool if we saw a different kind of storyline with him. I don't know how that would be achievable. I guess it takes away his personality if you do that. Because I would love to have him get more credibility so he can do other things that he wants to do. He could do them anyways if he wanted to, I suppose, but
he can do what he wants, man.
To be successful at it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. 1 second.
Alright.
Keep talking.
Oh, I'm going to keep talking now. Alright. Alright, so anyways, we're talking about Seth MacFarlane and how his comedy doesn't translate very well on the silver screen. So you're watching this show, was it Orville? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Orville.
Orville. Alright. So, we'll see. My theory is a show like that may not survive. I don't see it lasting seasons. It's like, I can see it getting canceled. Fox, is it on Fox, do you know?
Of course, Fox owes them huge.
Yeah. Well, so Fox is probably going to cancel it, just like they canceled Family Guy. And then maybe it'll become a cult classic afterwards, and they'll bring it back to another network like TNT or something. But right now, I'm saying, I haven't even seen it. I'm going to say that it's not going to survive. It's definitely not going to have more than 2 seasons.
It may not survive. You're right.
Yeah. You got to have more substance than that to run an entire TV show. A movie's one thing, because it's either a hit or a flop. But
to carry a TV show?
Continually try to bring a TV show to life, yeah.
So, let me ask you.
I don't know.
So, we're confirming between both of us that our opinion that Seth MacFarlane can do everything except act on the silver screen, right?
It's hard to say because I would say no, that's not true, only because we haven't had a chance to really see him act.
Okay.
Like, I feel like A Million Ways to Die in the West was his first, hey world, because let's be honest, some people may not know who he is. So, he's like, hey world, I'm the Family Guy guy. I create Family Guy, you know? Here I am in my first movie. And so, maybe he downplayed it a little bit. I don't know. But Ted doesn't count. Ted doesn't count because that's voice acting, right? And if you notice, he does have a lot of inflection in his voice, and how he's talking, and we didn't see that kind of, lack of a better term, animation from him, so to speak, in A Million Ways to Die. So you would. I know it's free right now on iTunes, the first episode of Orville, but you watched
Hulu
it
as well.
Did you actually see any acting from him, or was it like A Million Ways to Die, where he was just monotone and stating the obvious thing?
I don't know now. Now I gotta watch the episode again.
Gosh. You know what might help him too? Is if he was in a cast of variety actors, meaning like multiple comedians. Because right now he's the star, and he hires his weirdly popular like performers, to play these odd characters with him. But the characters are written odd, so it's not necessarily an acting trait. It's like if you're told that your wife's gonna be a prostitute in a cantina or whatever, and you're okay with that. I mean, that character's already pretty much written for you. It's automatically weird and whatever. But if you throw him in with something like Jackie Chan and, I don't know,
my God,
add some other performer like Owen Wilson, Jackie Chan, Ben Stiller, and him, then maybe he would have a chance to react off of people, and he would be more entertaining to watch. I don't know. As opposed to just him being the star and then writing wacky characters to bounce off of them.
Okay, so we're unsure of his acting abilities right now. Let's bring up another actor that I didn't think that was great of an actor. Actually, there's a lot of proof in his own TV series that he wasn't that great, because he broke character a lot. But it was still a great television series, went on for a lot of seasons. Seinfeld.
Okay, you're talking about Jerry Springer?
Jerry Seinfeld. He so many times.
Oh, Jerry Springer. I said Jerry Springer.
No. Jerry Seinfeld. He so many times during his show, Kramer would do something outrageous, and Jerry would just start laughing, like almost laughing on cue, like in there, like he's not supposed to be laughing.
But you know what? But see, that to me is not a good enough argument, because that works. Because in that situation, people would laugh.
Would they? In a serious conversation?
They would. Yeah, they would, Joel. They would laugh. If you saw someone that ridiculous, you'd laugh.
Why is Siri talking to me? Anyways, say it again.
I said, if you saw someone that ridiculous in a situation, you would laugh. So that to me fit the part.
I am the Kramer in our life, Matt.
Oh, are you?
I am. So I wouldn't know.
I think you're. I'm not gonna go there.
You say George, and I'm gonna stab you in the eye.
No, I wasn't gonna say George. I was just gonna say something similar to that, but I wasn't gonna say George. Oh man! All right, so we're getting off track. Once again, this is what we do. How we doing for time, buddy?
Don't ask about time.
Alright, so that's it then. I guess Seth McFarlens out. We got nothing, man. Do you think his humor's too crass? Is that why it doesn't work on the silver screen and on the television?
I don't know.
Like, it's one thing to watch an animated thing that's kind of funny, but to translate it with real people, it's like, oh, somehow it's like real world again. Like for example, if we were to shoot a scene of a guy like Tom Hanks sitting in a hospital bed dying in Philadelphia because he has AIDS. Would it be funny if those 4 choir guys came in and started singing, "We are sorry, you got AIDS, you got AIDS"? Like, would that be funny? Would that translate well on the summer speech?
First off, Orville is not doing cutaway scenes and bringing random people in like that.
No, I get it, but you said, before, I don't know if you said it in this conversation or before, but the scene where they're like, the dog's licking his balls, and like they bring it up. That's a crass joke, that's like lowbrow, as it were. So they're not being that direct, and that's what I'm getting at. It's like, do you think his jokes are crass and lowball? Let's be honest with you.
Well, they're in this show, they're very quick paced and very subtle at times, because it's not like a normal Family Guy episode. Like where he's being monotone and all that. Actually, like one of the first parts in the episodes, one of the first parts, he walks into his captain's office or his sergeant's office or I don't know whose office, and he's all nervous, like, why I brought you up here, blah blah blah, and he goes, "Oh, are these mints?" And he puts one in his mouth. He goes, "No, those are marbles," and he spits it right back out into the dish, and then they go on with their conversation, like small things like that. It's just.
So you like the gag humor? Do you like
the gag? Yeah, he's doing a lot of gag humor.
Yeah. So again, my point is, how many times can you hear a fart joke before it gets old? You know what I mean?
They're not fart jokes.
Especially if it's as fast paced as you're talking. You're gonna run through a lot of jokes pretty quick. Especially gag ones.
The thing is, they don't do that many jokes. Like, it was entertaining to watch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It had its funny moments.
Well, what I was gonna say is, how is it to see him in a fully developed plot where you can't cut away? Like, you have to entertain us from one moment to the next until it ends.
Well, what do you mean?
Beginning, middle, and end.
You think Seth MacFarlane has to cut away?
I don't know. His humor seems to cut away.
But he did American Dad, which there's no cutaways. And that show is hilarious.
It's true. To some extent, it's true. But think about A Million Ways to Die in the West. Even when they're having a scene or a moment, he has to distract from that moment with a variety of random facts or details.
He didn't do that.
Okay.
You're going to have to watch.
I am going to have to watch it, I guess.
No, you do.
I will. I'll watch it, but I'm just curious. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I feel like it's not going to be entertaining.
It's a 45-minute episode because it's the premiere.
Right.
And I thought it was really good.
All right.
For a Fox TV show, it entertained me. I mean, of course, it had crappy CGI. But they have interesting characters on it right now. So I think we'll see at least 2 seasons.
You think you're calling 2 seasons?
I'm calling it 2 seasons.
I think this. Did I just say I don't think it'll last more than 2?
That's not fair. That's not what I heard. I'm calling 3 seasons.
You have the same.
I'm calling 3 seasons.
You're gonna have the same opinion. No,
I'm calling 3 seasons. I gotta have more than you.
Alright, well, you heard it here first. I say 2, Bill says 3. We'll find out.
By the time we air this episode, it'll probably be canceled.
It'll be canceled. You never know. Sometimes they might be canceling it now based on the ratings. There's actually a good Fox show.
I just turned away that Nielsen person, and I'm not gonna let her know I'm watching Fox.
The only Fox show I think I watch right now is Gotham.
I stopped watching.
Really?
I missed an episode, and then I missed another, and then Hulu started expiring the episodes that I missed, so then I couldn't catch up. So I just stopped watching.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know where I stopped.
They should be on Netflix. They should all still be on Netflix, I believe.
What's the season that they're on right now? 3?
At least 3 or 4.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Fox?
It was a Fox show, yes.
That's a good show. I'm not impressed with Fox broadcasting usually, but Some things they get out there.
Well, you know what, though? I will say this. I actually think Fox is a great platform because people give them a hard time because they cancel a lot of shows, but I think it's actually pretty smart because they don't waste their time with crappy shows. And
they take
Family
chances.
Guy,
They take chances on crappy shows.
Family Guy, Simpsons,
Simpsons
Star
needs to go,
Wars.
by the way.
Like, they picked up a lot of great franchises. So,
Simpsons
they
need
know what
to
they're doing. I
retire.
think they also do Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow?
That's
that TV show?
Yeah, I think it's like lasted about 3 seasons so far. Yeah. We got off Seth.
We did get off Seth McFarlens. We got off him. I like to point out, though, when I go see his panels, back to Seth, back to the McFarlane, when I would go to Comic-Con, I'd go listen to his panels because, you know, they're always great and it's always fun. They listen to him talk, and he's funny in person.
Yes, he is.
He's a clever guy. Like, and he was even on Shark Tank. He didn't help the person's sale, but he didn't get a deal, but he was on Shark Tank. And he was very, very friendly. He's a friendly guy, and he's hilarious. He sees things differently than people.
Yeah, no, he does a great job for sure, and everything that I've seen him do has been very talented. Like I said, it'd be nice to see him be able to use his creativity and his humor in the silver screen and not be so monotone about it, because I'll give the show a chance, but I don't know, I feel like I worry about it. You know what's sad? You know what's funny is, I think I worry about him, because if he keeps flopping this way, then he won't ever get what he's always wanted. Does that make sense? He's always wanted to do other ideas.
Well, you know what I think I want to compare him to? Mel Brooks. I think he's a more crass Mel Brooks. And I think he should, personally, I think he should stop doing the TV shit and movies and make a musical.
Well, Mel Brooks, I guess, you know what, that's a great point, because I would say that, yes, you're correct, he is a modern-day Mel Brooks, except for the fact that Mel Brooks knew how to be animated on film. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't afraid to be animated.
We're not going to get a perfect clone of Mel Brooks.
No, but what I'm saying is I think the reason why Mel Brooks was successful as a writer, director, and actor on the silver screen is because out of the 3 things I just mentioned, he had all of them, whereas I feel like Seth MacFarlane only has 2 out of the 3.
But I mean, maybe he can't do the movies, but maybe Seth MacFarlane should make a musical. The South Park Boys did.
He definitely loves musicals. I think if you wrote a musical, people would love it. I think it is more up his alley, whether he knows it or not.
I wonder if he is planning one.
Very well might be. Well, he's done a lot of great stuff for the shows.
I'm sure people have asked him about it since he loves Broadway.
The hard part about writing a musical is you gotta know music, you know? So, I mean, you gotta find some composer that you trust.
The Family Guy orchestra, man. There was a full-blown orchestra.
Yeah, but that was stuff that they were playing that was already written.
Was it?
I mean, you're talking about all the nods that he did for musicals?
Yeah. Not the musicals, but just all the shit he did for the show. All that shit was done by orchestra.
Yeah, that part is true, but what I'm saying is he didn't, he would apply a musical number to his show that already existed. I'm saying he has to come up with one from scratch. You know, the only one that I saw that I thought was hysterical, I have no idea if he did it or not, the American Dad episode, I absolutely loved it. It was the hot tub one. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Yeah, I did. With the Little Shop of Horrors?
That one was hysterical.
Hot Tub of Horrors or something?
Yeah. That one was good, because then they did even, the the Usher / Michael Jackson kind of music video with his son. Daddy's gone.
Is that how it starts? Is that it? That's it.
Not even close, but expert I am not.
Little shop of horrors, little shop of horrors.
Yeah. We never talked about his rivalry with Seth Green and how they banter back and forth between Robot Chicken and Family Guy.
Oh, how Seth McFarlens told him his shit was never going to work, and
yeah. They obviously have a good relationship because they both work Family Guy.
Yeah, I mean, Seth took Seth in, right?
Yes, sure. Well, Seth also... No, I think Seth did Robot... You know what, that's a tough one. I don't know.
McFarlane he did some voices.
Or the Family?
He did, McFarlane did some voices for the chicken.
Yeah, but did Robot Chicken start first before Family Guy?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, Family Guy got canceled a long time ago and then restarted, so...
Correct.
I don't remember when they first aired.
Family Guy?
Yeah.
Late 90s. 1999.
And we'll have to see Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken... 2005.
Oh, wow, way later. Okay.
The interwebs is great.
It is. Fountain of knowledge.
Fountain of knowledge at my hand.
Oh, my goodness.
Alright, so final thought on the Seth guy.
Okay, I got one.
How about yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, what my final thought is, maybe what we need to see from him, and I think this is going to be kind of hilarious, is what if his next feature film, he does what he does for his animated work. He plays like 7 different characters.
Like like the Nutty Professor?
Well, but like full-blown makeup, so you don't really know it's him. You know what I mean? Like, it would be a challenge for the audience to watch and see which ones are actually him and which ones aren't. But he has to play like at least 5 or 6 of them, maybe 7.
All right,
because he does so many voices and he does such a good job, that might actually force him to break out that monotonous, monotone, like, delivery that he always does. Like, if he has to play a different character, like an old lady or, a talking chipmunk or something. I don't know, like, just keep going to town. Like, pick all these different characters he could play in a movie and throw them in that movie. He could play the mailman. He could play his own mailman, and he could start the movie and, like, he rides the bus, he plays the bus driver. And, like,
all right. We get it.
That's what I think. All right,
so this is a call out to Seth MacFarlane to perform in a movie in 5 of the roles, right?
At least, yeah. Bring that talent
I doubt he'll listen to this.
You never know. You'd be surprised. He'd probably get drunk one night. He'll be like, "Let's listen to shitty podcast."
Shitty.
Write about it. Like,
that's in the shitty podcast
section. On to
section.
this one. I bet you. You know what? We gotta say. This is the. You know what I'm gonna title this episode? Seth MacFarlane. Listen to this crap.
Seth MacFarlane, you piece of shit. You gotta listen to this.
We love you. We want to see your talent. Broaden your horizons.
Broaden.
Yeah. What's your final thought?
Oh, I didn't have one. I just wanted you to have one. I didn't have one.
Alright, fair enough. Well, that's it. Alright, I guess that's it then. Well, thanks for listening. This is Matt.
And, I'm Joel. I'm done.
And here we go on to the next one.